Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to F1 Manager 24. Creator Team career here already on the PC. It is time for the 2013 mod. I've been wanting to put this out for quite some time. Didn't get the final update I was hoping it would. This is one of the reasons it's been a little delayed. But here it is, the 2013 mod. We're going to play as McLaren. One of the drivers is the proper driver, the other one, not who you would expect. That's right, we brought Michael Schumacher out of retirement and partnered him up with Jenson Button for a couple of seasons, just to prolong his career, because I've always wanted to be able to control Schumacher in this, and he goes into retirement at the end of 2012, and he's available in the database, but he's retired, and you can't just drop him into any old team, so yeah, we kind of binned off Perez. Who only had one season at McLaren anyway, so it's no major loss there. So Perez has gone onto the open market as a free agent. We've brought in Michael Schumacher on a 2-year deal, I believe, maybe 3. I think it's 2 years. Let's have a look, actually. How long is his contract? A 3-year deal. So he's on a 3-year contract, and then that'll be it, I would imagine, unless I can somehow convince him to sign an extension. So we have Michael Schumacher and Jenson Button as our driver lineup. All the other lineups are as they were in 2013, as is in the mod. So some of the staffing in the game is a little inaccurate. These were changes that I did put forward, but ultimately didn't get put into the mod because the creator's also trying to work on the 2014 mod as well, and has been working on the 2026 mod. More on that in a moment. Unfortunately, not all of the changes I recommended have been put in, but most of them were updated, which is quite nice. So let's go ahead then and take a look at McLaren. So not the greatest car in 2013. Pretty much mid-pack, actually. So not an easy start, but not an overly difficult start as well. A very good driver in Jenson, arguably definitely a better driver in Schumacher than Perez, but not by a massive amount. Facilities are pretty strong, which is a benefit, and we've got a nice little budget. One thing you will find is when you want to do this mod, you will have a series of base files to load from, one for each team. And all of them, I think, bar maybe one of them, actually has existing projects going through in car development. They all have projects going, I think, apart from one team. And it's either Caterham or it's Marussia. I can't remember which one of those two it is. But we are going to be reviewing those and seeing if we actually want them to go ahead, and we might cancel them as well. One of the slight inaccuracy is that instead of using Pirelli tyres, we're using Bridgestone tyres. Hopefully you'll be able to see a quick shot of those in a moment. Not a major little change, just a tiny little graphics change, that's all. Everything else, I will list in the video description. I need to update it for this series, so that will get added in after this stream is done, and then we'll be in there from the beginning of tomorrow's stream as well. Excuse me. So, our targets. The season objective is first. Yeah, that ain't happening. We are not going to be winning the Constructors' Championship this season. I think we'll be lucky to get third, if I'm honest. So we're up against some pretty tough competition in Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes. It's going to be, I think, Mercedes and Red Bull first and second. In either of those two, have got a good chance of winning the title, and then Ferrari probably third. So our aim, I think, a realistic aim, is fourth, unless we can get some major improvements going through the rest of the season. Let's take a quick overview of our facilities. We've got level 3s across the board until the bottom 2, then we're at level 2. Level 3 team hub, level 2 scouting department, which we don't really need. A level 2 race sim, which we do need to upgrade. And we need to drop some upgrades in here. Tour center and helipad in particular definitely need a boost, as does the memorabilia room as well. So sponsors already been chosen as part of the launch file. So we'll get our first negotiation period coming up to try and fulfill the requirements and see how much we'll earn over the next 6-week period. Evening, Ibuk. Evening, Army. Richard. Good to see you guys. Hello to anyone else who's lurking in the chat as well. Let's review the car, shall we? So, performance currently 9th, as you can see. Pretty much slap bang in the middle of the field. Maybe slightly better than the average, but not by a lot. And second car is identical. These are the projects we have going. We've got a chassis, which is going to add some nice little improvements across the board with a slight hit to engine cooling. Big gain on the high-speed performance. So it looks like that's where a lot of it's been focused. And I think this one has had the ATR allocation based on just how big some of these gains are in, when totaled up. We're going to keep that one. The rear wing has a massive improvement to medium speed and DRS. Doesn't give anything on the high speed and a slight deficit to dirty air. I might cancel this one just because I don't know if I'm going to end up hurting the balance of the car too much. Let's take a look at the side pod. Side pod is going to bring a bit of speed, some big upgrades in downforce, and a slight deficit to engine cooling. So this is very much a performance-based rather than longevity-based upgrade. And then we've also got a suspension. This is going to give some speed, some lower medium downforce, losing some high speed and some tyre wear. This one I think I might cancel and try and redo it. I'm worried about what it's going to do to my car at the end of this round for future upgrades. So, let's let them ride. I think we'll let them ride. We'll get them knocked out and see what happens, and then we'll just have to maybe come up with some very unconventional upgrades to try and balance the car out if it does get a little out of whack aero-wise. Here's these Bridgestone tyres that I was telling you about there. They're quite subtle. I do quite like them. So we'll give those a run in this series. And this is the calendar. So this is based off the 2013 calendar as much as possible with some notable changes. So, for example, Jeddah's in here instead of Malaysia. China, Bahrain, Barcelona, Monte Carlo, Monaco. These are all as they normally were. And then I'm not sure if this was how the season ended. In fact, let's pull up the 2013 calendar for real. It's been 13 years, so my memory of it isn't fantastic. So yeah, it was Australia, Malaysia, China, Bahrain, Spain, Monaco, Canada, Britain, Germany, which is missing. There is no German Grand Prix. So what's in instead of Germany? Austria. Austria is in instead of Germany, it would seem. Yes, Austria is in instead of Germany. Then Hungary, Belgium, Italy, Singapore, Korea. We don't have Korea. So Korea has been replaced with Baku. Kind of makes sense. Similar kind of circuit. And then we also have Japan, India, Abu Dhabi, Brazil. Abu Dhabi, United States, and then Brazil. So, yeah, it looks like the change for India is Mexico. I'm not sure. I think that's necessarily the best circuit to put in as a replacement, but I mean, I understand why that one's there. So everything else is accurate. There's just those 3 changes. Mexico in for India, Baku in for Korea. Actually, 4 changes, isn't it? Austria instead of Germany, and Jeddah instead of Malaysia. So it's not bad. It's as close as you can get with the circuits that we have available. Right. Let's set up all of our training, shall we? So let's see what mixed training is. It's unbalanced. Try to see what needs the most work. I would say possibly long run pace for the reactions. Might go this one actually. Control, overtaking, defending, and reactions. Don't need to boost the defending at all. Overtaking is pretty strong, but control, it's always good to get a little bit more control, and the reactions definitely not as good as they could be. But then he is, 44 years old. Interestingly enough, a little pointer note for you. I've put in number 32 as his car number. That is the number he used when he debuted in Formula 1. So seeing as it wasn't actually allocated to anybody, makes sense that he would choose that number, given that number 5 was Sebastian Vettel, although he should be running number 1 in this. I think he's probably running number 5 actually, so we might need to fix that in the next episode. And Button using his number 22. His training is, let's see, driving standards as a contender. As his race strategy. Let's go with that. Let's go with driving standards, I think. Evening, Dino. Right, engineers. We've got Phil Prue and Tom Stallard. Tom Stallard was not there at the time, but his replacement isn't actually in the database, unfortunately. Let's go with responsiveness for Phil Prue, and then Tom Stallard. We'll go with responsiveness as well. Right, onto our actual staff. We've got Paddy Lowe as our technical director, Tim Goss as our head of aero, and Sam Michael as team boss, race and sporting director. We'll start with him. His stats definitely not that great, unfortunately. Evening, Wayne. Let's take a look at Tim Goss. Where is he strong and weak? Low speed, airflow sensitivity, DRS are his 3 worst areas. Could go with bodywork. Could go with grip and traction. Let's go with simulations. Given Michael's previous instance, probably should have put on wheel-to-wheel training. Yeah, maybe that's what the control's for. His aggressiveness in this game is like 88, I think, so it's pretty high. So we definitely got a chance of there being some Shumi madness moments. And let's take a look at Paddy Lowe. Side pods is definitely a very weak area, and then front wing. So can I get both of those in one here? Yes, I can. Perfect. Side pods, front wing, and underfloor. That works out very nicely indeed. Okay, pit crew training. Let's go ahead and edit the pit crew training. Let's see. Because Sam Michael's stats aren't great, these guys are going to get tired a lot faster than we're used to. So that is something we will have to take into consideration. Shouldn't be an issue here in this little block of time. But I do want to make sure that they get appropriate rest each week. At the end of each week. So we'll do like that, and then we will start putting on heavy training here again. We're going to customize that skill training in just a second. The first thing I want to do is just get the base training plotted in. How long until the next Grand Prix? 19 days. So yeah, I can go a full day's training here, I think. Maybe? Nope, that's too much. So let's go instead with just a morning. And we want to try and balance these out a bit. They're not too far away, but they're not ideal. So let's get some wheelgun training in. And then we'll do some used tyres off. And then what are we looking like at the end of the month? Not bad. Let's maybe do a little bit of Jack's training. And then let's do a little bit of new tyres on. We'll still need to do more tweaking as we go into the next month, but that's not bad to get us started. There we go. Right, nice big budget. Let's go spend some money. Let's start by improving the team hub and the race sim. Absolutely need to boost our tour center and helipad. Let's also upgrade the memorabilia room. Hospitality is a little bit more expensive. I'm going to hold off on that one for now, because it's going to be quite expensive pushing everything up in the other one. That is an 8mm upgrade. That's not too bad for a level 3, so we'll go with that. And I think that's it for those upgrades. We haven't looked at our rookies yet, have we? Our affiliates. So we've got Gary Paffett, Kevin Magnussen, Stoffel Van Dorn, Ben Barnecoat, Tang Andrew, who looks like he has somebody else's head. That looks a bit like Sutil. Might be Sutil, I'm not sure. But we will not be keeping all of these guys. So, Gary Paffett, let's get him. How old is he? He's 30 years old. Let's get him on some car development. What's his marketability? 50. Magnussen. Very young looking Kevin Magnussen. Let's get him on car development as well. Stoffel. Again, very young looking Stoffel. Marketability, I think, for Stoffel. Ben Barnecoats. (16 years old). We will leave him on driver updates. Tang Andrew. Yeah, he's not particularly good at anything, is he? Oh, very good at marketability. Hello. Beautiful stuff. All right. And we are going to scout another driver. Oh, that's so nice. Got a new mouse. 13-year-old Mick Schumacher. Oh, let's see. Yeah. Some of the drivers do have the wrong issue, the wrong face. It's unfortunate, but it's just unfortunately one of those things. So I do love the fact I can just do that and whiz up and down the lists like that now. Yeah, I bought myself an MX Master 3. I didn't think the extra £50 for the 4 was worth it. So. I got myself a webcam as well, but I still need to sort of declutter my area a bit. So no face shots just yet. Right. Let's move time forward a bit. Ben Barnacote goes up by a point to a 59 overall. Very nice. Max and Charles Leclerc are available in this game as well. They're both, I think, 15-year-olds. We're not going to be signing either of those. We will see where they end up. But we may well bring in Mick. At 13 years old, he's going to be getting 100k a year as the minimum I can offer him. But he should hopefully develop very quickly. Sponsor plan, let's see. So engagement is worth 4.18 mil. We'll get another 2.8 for a wind tunnel advert. I don't know what these guys want as their priority, though. That's the thing. Do they want drivers? Do they want VIPs? Do they want something else? I don't know. Let's get Andrew Tang in there, or Tang Andrew. Stoffel. And then we're going to need a bit more. Let's go with... Let's go with race weekend access to the factory. We're going to be building a huge amount of stuff anytime soon. So there we go. Mix scouting is complete already. There we go. So yeah, if we were to offer him a contract, I mean, he is at maximum development rate. He's only 13 years old. It'll be 5 seasons before he can even get in the car. But we will sign him on a 5-year deal. And that's the lowest I can go. So he's going to be earning quite a lot for a 13-year-old. We'll just take it out of his old man's pay. Yeah, some interesting options in here. Alex Brundle's in here. Who else is in here? Felipe Nasr is in here. A very young George Russell, although it's not showing the George Russell headshot from when he was 15 years old, which is probably a blessing in disguise. Who else have we got? That's yeah, Isaac is 8 years old. Kimi Räikkönen's in at 33 years old. Mark Webber, 36. Yeah, Gilles Bianchi's here. Nicholas Latifi's in the game. Nicholas Prost. Nikita Bedrin. Nikita Mazepin. Ollie Rowland at 20 years old. Paul Di Resta, Pedro Della Rosa. Yuki is 12 years old. Liuzzi's there. with his base. Petrov, Victor Martin, 11 years old. So yeah, the database is mostly accurate. It's not 100% accurate, but it's just not possible, I don't think, without potentially breaking the game beyond repair. So there's something in the inbox now to take a look at. It's our key staff email. We're done with that, and we've done our first day. We've got Anthony Davidson's headshot with our staff member there. Helipad's now level 2, so let's drop another upgrade on that. And the extra suspension, which we didn't need but couldn't get refunded, is now built. There we go. Evening, Eric. All right, welcome to the 2024 season. Yes, the time is inaccurate. It says 2024. I did speak to Kevin about that. It says it was just an overly complicated and potentially game-breaking thing to mess with the actual time in-game. So that's why it still says 2024. Drive development updates. Mick's stats, or Michael's stats, have all been restored after having been retired. So that's why his stats are all showing at 50, because when someone retires, their stats immediately just baseline to 50 across the board. No change to button. Tool center's done. So we'll stick another upgrade on that. There we go. Pit crew training for the new month. Let's strip it all out. Go to cumulative. And let's start again with some definite training. We'll go with a few days of heavy gym training again. There shouldn't be any sprints this season because sprints weren't a thing in 2013. There we go, that's perfect. And then let's go with wheel gun. And there we go. They're almost balanced now. Almost. Just slightly down on the used tyres. That's fine. Let's go with a day of splits. That's too much. Let's take the afternoon off. Still too much, so I didn't take it off completely. Go with a morning of gym training instead. 9 to 0, that's perfect. And then we can go with a day of car building into our split training. Try and get those stats completely balanced off if at all possible before we get to China. That would be nice. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it done though. There we go. This might cause a problem. We'll try that. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. So that's our training for March. There we go. Helipad upgrade is done. Let's get another one on there. post-Bahrain test results. So, speed 7th, acceleration 5th, DRS 11th, and then 9 in downforce, 9 in tyre wear, 7th in engine. Not bad. But we're definitely going to be quite a lot off the pace. Once again, because this is the 2013 season, the gaps between top and bottom are pretty big. Pretty big. Right, new ATR period unlocked because it's the start of a new period. Not much more to get done now. To level 4 in the memorabilia room. I think we'll stay like that now until it needs a refurb, then we'll drop another upgrade on it. I've still got 27.25 mil in the bank. Strategy prep for Australia. It's going to be warm, not expecting rain. Let's check the actual forecast. So looks like we've got some light rain forecast on the Friday, then overcast and cold on the Saturday, and then warm but overcast on the Sunday. All right, not bad. So race targets: 7th for Schumacher. I'm going to try. And 9th for Button. We'll give that a go as well. And let's go to Melbourne.
It's wonderful to be back down under for the Australian Grand Prix. Every team and driver comes here with the same goal, to win. But that's for the end of the season. For now, they have to prepare to fight for F1 glory. There'll be plenty of people keeping an eye on Sauber's driver this weekend. A debut and a chance to impress. Now let's get the weekends underway.
Okay. Let's see. Run plan. Normally 20 laps at Melbourne. I'm going to try and do... let's see, we haven't got any car park knowledge at all, have we? Let's go with 30 laps for the opening day then. Don't know if it's going to stay wet all the way through. We might have to call them in. Let's go with a 7.5 on the front. And a 13 on the rear. We'll go with an 8.2. We'll go with... That's one of the setups we used last time we were in Australia on our other save file. I don't think it was accurate, but it wasn't far away, if memory serves. And then same over here, we'll go with 30 laps. There we go. You can just see... there we go. If I do it like that, we've got a grey helmet on this car. This is Schumacher. Unfortunately, we couldn't put a proper helmet on Schumacher because the mod as a team package has the helmet for Perez and the helmet for Button, and so we take Perez out and we put Schumacher in, and it keeps that same helmet. But we do have two distinctly different helmets. I mean, the design is the same, but Jensen's got his JB on the side and this is blue. Schumacher's is grey with a bit of red on it. They've both got the Vodafone banding. I mean, it looks good, so I'm fine with it. It is a shame we couldn't have a proper Schumacher helmet, but yeah. Right, let's go with an 8.5 on the front and then a 13. We'll go with a 7.3. And then we'll keep this about the same, I think, as the other car. There we go. Did I do the run plan for Michael? I'm going to keep calling him Mick. There we go. And let's hit the track.
Okay, that's green light.
So out goes Michael. What is going to get a little confusing on the mini-map is that our cars have red icons. That should hopefully change next season. I hope there's a sequel script I need to run next season. Hopefully that will fix that. So it will be a little harder to distinguish at first glance us from Ferrari, but of course our icons are going to be much bigger, so it will make it a little easier in that respect. If you're not playing as McLaren, you're playing as, or Ferrari for that matter, if you're playing as, say, Mercedes or Renault or Williams, yeah, then it's going to get a bit confusing because you're going to have equal-sized dots that are almost identical colours. And that's going to be very hard to distinguish which one's which. All right, so while they are doing that, let's check the weather first of all.
No risk on the curbs.
It's going to stay wet all the way through. Lovely stuff. And let's talk about the 2026 mod, which is now available soon. I say available now. It's not quite available yet, but the trailer dropped about an hour before I went live, and here it is. So are you all as excited as me? Looks very, very good, doesn't it? The one thing that I'm really impressed with, I mean, I love the fact that the sphere is showing. That's cool. But I love the fact that we've got active front wings as well. That's one thing that I'm really, really impressed with. I don't think that's the full Macarena wing. I don't think it... Oh no, it has kind of flipped, hasn't it? It was so quick. Let's try changing the playback speed right down. And we'll mute that now. Yeah, it is the Macarena wing. I mean, it pretty much flips instantly. So you don't get to see it do the full rotation. But yeah, we have the Macarena wing. And we have Albon's collapsing front rear wing. We have a more traditional style DRS activation there. And I love this as well. They've actually got active front wing aero as well. Army, you've got the mods by Mr. Only. Do his cars have active front wings or not? Because I don't know if they've done a deal with him to get the access to the these, or whether they've made their own. I get the feeling they probably made their own. An even more traditional style DRS there. But yeah, the fact that we've got active front wings and rear wings and different styles as well. These guys have really pulled out all the stops. Yeah, I cannot wait. And yeah, I popped for this. Seeing the sphere. I can't wait to see if that is actually something that has any kind of movement in game or not. I think it keeps that pose and then just gradually rotates. I'm not sure. But yeah, very excited to find out. So that is the trailer for F1 Manager 2026, or the DLC. As you can see, out April 17th, free on Overtake. So make sure you give the guys in the AMO community some love. Get yourself into their Discord group and say hi. And yeah, I can't wait to get my hands on this. Right, let's head back to our drivers. Let's see where they're up to. Bit of work to do. We're at 2 out of 5 for Schumi, 1 out of 5, now 2 out of 5 for Jensen. Nobody else on track yet. One thing to bear in mind as well, that with the new car models, if you make that change, because you can on Overtake get the new liveries on the current car models, the 2021, 22 car models, these ones here. Well, I suppose the 24 car model, isn't it? You can get a lot of alternate liveries and team swaps and stuff like that with those car models. If you change to the new ones, you're not going to have that for a very long time, I would imagine, because I don't know how long it's going to be until people start making liveries based around the 2026 car model. I know people have not been allowed to do that with Mr. Onlys, and that's probably one of the reasons why these guys have made their own car models. Whether they'll give permission for people to make liveries, or whether it could just be different members of the modding team pumping out their own on Patreon or not, I don't know. I would imagine that we will start seeing some popping up on Overtake at some point in the future for free, but that's just something to bear in mind, is that if you do make that change to the 2026 car models, is that you're going to be locked into those liveries for probably several seasons before you get the opportunity to start changing them out.
Any feedback?
All right, let's have a look at our feedback. 89% and 96. Not bad. We'll leave them out because we want to get a good running session in this session. So let's just speed them up. In fact, actually, you haven't seen all of the cars yet, have you? So we've got Mark Webber. Minimise that. And there's Webber. And there's his Red Bull. There's Vettel. Thomas. Got Massa with his helmet, Brazil flag and all. And the Ferrari. We've got Grosjean. And Kimi Räikkönen. And then we have Adrian Sutil in the Force India. And Paul di Resta. Next up, Mercedes. So the helmets you'll see here is Hamilton's helmet, and where is the other Mercedes driver? That's Brendan Hartley, and that is Nico Rosberg's helmet. Very tricky to tell them apart at first glance, just looking at the helmets, because they are very, very similar at first glance when you're looking at them head on. A little bit different in this view, but this is the Mercedes. There it is. Next would be the Sauber. So we've got Nico Hulkenberg, and that will be Esteban Gutierrez when he gets in the car in the next session. Okay, so then we have the Williams of Valtteri Bottas and Pastor Maldonado. Maldonado does not have an actual helmet, so this is the base game default helmet for Williams. But Bottas also does not have his helmet in-game, but it does appear in cutscenes. It's a bug. I did mention it to Kevin, but again, he's got a lot of stuff going on at the moment, so I don't know if or when that'll get fixed. And then the Williams itself is the Randstad Williams. There we go. Complete with the Venezuela tourism logo on the back. Then we have the Red Bull sister team. So we've got Ricciardo and Jean-Eric Verne. So we've got different helmets for both of those guys. And then the livery, which, you know, is just one of my all-time favourite liveries. I've always preferred this livery over any livery that Red Bull or Toro Rosso have ever done. You know, and Toro Rosso, I mean by them, AlphaTauri, etc., etc. I loved that sort of airbrushed Red Bull. It was the actual only one with a proper, just a Red Bull on it like that. I mean, without any additional adornments or anything like that. Really, really loved that. Then we have two more teams. We've got Marussia. That is Jules Bianchi and Max Chilton. So there's Bianchi and there's Chilton. And there's the car. And last but not least is Caterham with Guido van der Garde and Charles Pic. We'll get there in the end. Hopefully at this corner here. There we go. And in this game, Caterham is the 11th team. So this is the My Team. So if you wanted to replace Caterham with your own personal team, you could do. You could just say that Caterham went bust, which they actually did. But I think in 2014. So you could then just swap them out and put your own team in their place. Where's the usual My Team file? The Cadillac file will be back on... it was going to be Thursday, but I'm going to bring it back on Wednesday. And then Thursday, Thursday will be Cadillac. And then Friday, given that we have a release date of Friday, the 17th, that will be the 2026 mod. Right, so back to us. Let's speed time up until our runs are done. garage we go. So, what do we need to change? The roll bar. Let's bring that in. Let's push that up a bit. Gonna need to change the front wing. Let's push that up a bit. In fact, I think let's go with the same sort of setup we've got on Button's car. Maybe just dial that back to an 8. And do that. One of the drawbacks as well to this is that there's no audio for the vast majority of drivers because there's no audio for them, unfortunately.
Rain in pit lane, be careful, stopping on the mark.
So no head models either, so there'll be very little, if any, podium celebrations this year. Maybe in future seasons, who knows. And let's try just dialing that back. And changing that slightly as well. See how we get on with that. And we're done for this session. Not going to send them back out again until FP2. And there we go. Okay, into Q2. Right, Q2, FP2. Looks like it's going to be dry this session, but we may get rain, so I'm going to put on a set of mediums. We'll go with 25 laps this time. Again, still don't want to do too much running, but I also want to try and get that car dialed in a bit better if at all possible. In terms of car park knowledge, we're up to 22% after the first day's running so far. We've got new setups to try, so let's give them a try.
Sessions should be starting now.
That's a long tyres, haven't I? Damn it. We are going to get rain. It's not going to be a huge amount of rain. We'll just have to trust that Button can keep it on the track. Should be able to. And I haven't actually looked to see how many engines, etc. we've got. We'll check that at the end of this session. We might have more of an allocation. Yeah, my desktop audio was unfortunately still switched on. I've turned that off now, so it should be okay. Do I still have an echo? Echo.
We've got a yellow flag here.
Oh, spin for Esteban Gutierrez.
But this is what happened. Well, things are okay at this stage. That's it. That's the spin. And that certainly wouldn't have been in their plans today.
Yeah, so that you guys could hear the trailer. I turned my desktop audio on and then I just forgot to turn it back off again. So you were getting input from the game capture and also from the desktop stacking on top of each other.
And it is raining a little bit.
All right, feedback from Michael. We have improved the car, but not enough. Still something a bit wrong with it. What about Jensen? '97.
How's the balance?
So again, a slight improvement, but not quite there.
Understood.
So my aim with this series is to try and get Michael, I told you I'm going to keep doing that, is to try and get Michael an 8th world title before he retires.
Track okay?
Which isn't going to be the easiest thing to do in the first 2 seasons, because we definitely have a pace deficit to the top 3 teams. We are very much a number 4 team at the moment. And not even a clear number 4 either. Mikhail, yeah. Let's try that. It's the cornering. Let's go. Let's go that way. Try that. Yeah, we're going to be in a fight with Lotus. Lotus are probably slightly better than us in some areas, and we're probably slightly better than them in some areas. So we're going to be fighting, I think, for fourth team overall at the moment, as things currently stand with Lotus. Force India, we should be able to beat. We should be able to beat Williams and Sauber, Toro Rosso, Caterham and Marussia. But yeah, we're gonna be scrapping it out with Lotus, I think, for best of the rest. And Lotus might even get themselves up there with Ferrari as well. So this season and next season are gonna be difficult, and then we're gonna have that big 2026 rules reset that's kind of baked into the game. So that might be our only real opportunity of actually getting Schumacher world title number 8, and that's the last year of his contract. So it might be just about 2 years of build before actually getting to that point where we can actually win him that title. We might only run those 3 seasons as well. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Tyres are wearing down. Looks like Grosjean's best time is identical to Hamilton's.
That's the checkered flag.
Webber's right up there as well, so pretty close. I just got some feedback in at the very, very death there. There is very much a model headshot for Roman Grosjean there. So we did get full feedback for Schumacher. He's at 96. So we gained an extra 1%. This is still going to be a tricky one to figure out, isn't it? Let me try that. Let's see if that works. And then he wants hard tyres and we want mediums on Jensen. Jensen, we didn't quite get full feedback, but the car isn't right. Let's roll that back. And instead, let's bump it that way instead, and then bring that back up that way. And we'll go for another, let's see, what's our driver prep at? Not enough. Let's go with 30 laps. I forgot we haven't got the driver development boosts that we normally get. So we're going to need to be a little bit closer with our, well, a little bit more long term with our running in these first couple of races, I think.
Okay, that's green light. Warm the tyres where you can.
No curbs.
So, while they're out there doing their thing, let's talk about the mods that we're using. So, the main mod, obviously, is the 2013 mod, which is available for free on Overtake. And then there's some other mods that we've run in the past. We're running the Bridgestone tyre pack, which is available on Overtake. We're running the driver attributes UI and the F1 Manager add-on pack that we've been running on all of our other stuff. We're also running the same leaderboard as we did on our Cadillac series. We're also running the same modular realistic racing version 4.1.3 that we ran, or we're still running on the Cadillac
Look at the
version as
McLaren
well.
driver here. And that's, oh no, that's not quite what they would have wanted.
That's
and
not
you
too
really
bad.
can't do that too often.
A little bit of verge trimming there for JB. But essentially, yeah, it's not a massive change to the mod list. I put the champagne in there as well. We've obviously taken out the 2026 tyres and the 2026 wheel rims. And just left them as they were. We replaced the tyres with the Bridgestone tyres. And that's pretty much it. So, yeah, it's the usual sort of collection of mods, just a lot less sort of customization mods in there because we're not running custom liveries. They're all already included as part of the 2013 mod. All the helmets are already keyed to the cars. So running alternate helmets might not really be something that's feasible. So there's none of those in there either. And we haven't swapped out any of the teams. You know, again, all the team packages are built into the mod. So, yeah, there we go. That is a very quick rundown. Not a lot of additional mods on top of what what is the base mod itself. Evening, Daniel. And again, I will make sure that they all get linked in for the next episode, and I'll add them into the description of this one after the live stream's finished. So if you're watching this now, live, you don't know what the mods are, apart from what I've just sort of explained on air. But if you're watching this back, you can click in the video description and the mods will be listed and linked. Right, feedback from Michael. Nearly called him Mickle. Over at 99% from Mickle Schumacher. 95 from Jensen. So we've made Jensen's car worse. And we've almost nailed it with Michael's car. Nearly called him Mickle again then. Of all the different sort of display screens, I think I prefer the McLarens the most as well. You take a look, this is the, well, they're not actually out on track, are they? So this is Marussia, which is, I think it's cast normally. And they've got everything all sort of grid boxed like that. It's not bad. The Williams, very similar. Sauber, looks like that. Which is not as neat and tidy as the McLaren one. Mercedes, we've got a Mercedes on track. Again, very similar layout to us. Just not as neat and tidy, I don't think. Is that different to the Sauber? Let's have a look. It's the same as the Sauber by the look of it. Is there a difference? Yeah, there's a very subtle difference, but very, very subtle. Force India are running the same as Sauber by the look of it. Caterham. Do we have a Caterham on track at the moment? No. Toro Rosso. Again, that kind of grid boxed. Have a look. Red Bull. Yeah, that kind of similar kind of look to Mercedes. Let's see, we've got a Ferrari out there. No. But I just think that the McLaren wheel is probably just the nicest layout. Of the ones that we have, anyway. And that's not talking about the design of the wheel, it's just talking about the LCD screen in the middle of it. It's my personal preference. Alright, I don't know if that driver prep includes the setup. I don't think it does. In which case we're very, very close. We just need a little bit more time on track and we should be covered off. Probably extend their stints a little bit. Just try and get that car part knowledge up a little bit more, because that's about the only thing that's going to hold them back now is car part knowledge. So if we can just extend them by a couple of laps here, while we're still getting that really big boost. We're going to have to call them in anyway, because they're going to run out of fuel. If we get another 2 or 3 laps at the higher, actually, no, that only affects track gain, doesn't it? I don't think it has any bearing on car part knowledge. Still going.
Tyre and plan update.
Alright, let's not take the risk any longer. Let's call them in now. Let's take a look. 52. So Michael will be covered, but we should be able to fix his up to 100 anyway. Jensen will probably be just a touch short, but maybe we can tweak him back to into 100% confidence. So, assuming I've gone the right way, because it's not 100% guaranteed, then that car is now sorted.
Remember the pit lane speed limiter. Pit lane speed limiter.
Stop in front of the garage.
He's like, no, I'm going to stop in the garage. Thank you very much. Ah, damn. So close. I don't know if that's going to do it. Might do it. Doubt I'll have time to send them back out either. Well, maybe for a couple of laps. But nothing substantial. We'll send them out anyway, just to try and get that tiny bit of extra car part knowledge. Let's see if we can. There we go. Straight up to 78. That's nice. Can we get it up to 79 before the end of the session? Yes. For about 80 on the in-laps.
That's the checkered flag.
I don't know. There we go. Nico Rosberg. With a very coiffured haircut there. Right, that is the end of practice. So, next up is our first ever qualifying session with a 2013 model.
Now it's time to see who'll come out on top as qualifying gets underway.
These days, it's a much faster layout here at Albert Park, and teams need to focus on getting high and medium speed cornering right to set a good qualifying time.
Haroon, don't you think it's going to be interesting to see what happens for the Alpine driver today?
Looking at the lap times, we saw a real lack of pace from them in practice. They never looked quite comfortable with the setup, and they'll need to try something new for qualifying if they want to get past Q1.
So don't go anywhere, folks. It's nearly time for qualifying.
So, it's reset back to the 97. This is what we're at. We're just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to mess around with it, because I'm only going to make it worse, I think. And then we've got the untested setup with Michael. Just waiting to see if the braking stability is accurate. So, fingers crossed that one is. And out we go. So, Jean-Eric Verne is the first to take to the track in the Toro Rosso. Kimi Raikkonen and Mark Webber also now leaving the pit lane. Oh, and we've got our first incident already.
Here we are, we're looking at
Just
turn
about
11.
to start pushing, and pushed just a
round
touch too
they
soon.
go. In the end, just a helpless passenger.
We've got Felipe Massa leaving the pits as well. He's just ahead, actually, of Verne. Go past him any second. There we go. And we're going to let Webber go through, and then we're going to send out our drivers. Right, Raikkonen crosses the line to start his lap. Out comes Max Chilton. And he might actually get in Webber's way here. Oh yeah, he did a little bit. So Raikkonen is half a second quicker than Verne in the first sector.
And we want to generate some temperature.
Feels
on this
weird
outlap.
seeing a VER next to a Red Bull symbol and it not being Verstappen. Yeah, Raikkonen's flying at the moment. And we've got the first of the Mercedes out. It's Lewis Hamilton making his way onto the track. So across the line for Kimi Raikkonen. And it's a 118.3 as we pull over to let Massa through. Webber into second, but he lost a huge amount of time in the first sector, so he should be top. with that lap, and would have been had he not been held up. Massa's got a good chance of going top.
And drive straight out, drive straight out. Track will be clear.
You're good to open the lap.
I'm going to run on board with Michael. And Massa has gone top, 10th and a half ahead of Kimi Raikkonen. The 118.2 is the target time. And there you can see that kind of pace difference I was talking about. Chilton is 1.1 seconds down in the first sector. Yeah, the cars at the back are definitely going to be getting lapped. Probably at least twice. 26.7 for Jensen in the first sector. That's not too bad. There's Massa ahead of us. 26.8 for Mick. Michael. Keep calling him Mick, I know I am. It's a force of habit. 19.2, not bad, but not great. 19.1 for Schumacher. So, Chilton, 2.8 seconds off the pace. Button pops up into third place.
That is P3, your P3.
Right, Michael.
Last lap pace was good.
He's slower by a tenth and a half, almost. All right, Hamilton's on a lap. Here he comes. Guido van der Garde is 1.5 seconds down on Hamilton's time so far over 2 sectors. Hamilton goes purple in the final sector and takes top spot with a 118.1. Here is van der Garde. And he is 2.6 seconds off the pace. Danny Rick on track. Paul di Resta now leaving the pit lane. Nico Rosberg leaving the pit lane. And Valtteri Bottas starts his flying lap.
Remember the pit lane speed limiter. Stop in front of our garage.
You know what, I forgot. There's another bug where Bottas and Maldonado both have bot as their initials. We will fix that. We will fix that. And let me check. Where is Vettel? He's not left the pits yet. We'll do it after this session. Because we'll be able to change Vettel from number 5 to number 1 if we need to. Prep for a second run. Hopefully we won't need to do a second run. As Ricciardo goes to P9, 1.8 seconds away. Where is Rosberg? Oh, Alonso's out there as well. It's right on board with Fernando. Old school helmet for Fernando here. And Rosberg goes purple. Manages to get past the Lotus there without being held up. He is 3/10 down on Rosberg so far. Rosberg going to go top. Rasta up into P8 now, thanks to Rosberg going top by 3.6 tenths. Purple in every sector. And Fernando, P2. 7 thousandths quicker than Hamilton. Right, what about Hulkenberg? Can he get his Sauber out of the drop zone? He can for now, but it's not a great time. 2.4 seconds off. Who was that just crossed the line? Was that Gutierrez? I can see who it was. But, Gutierrez up into the 11th place. Sutil in 9th. Here comes Jules Bianchi. And there is Sebastian Vettel. And it does look like he's got number 5 in his car, so we will need to fix that. Oh, he's going to get blocked through turn 2. Grosjean coming into the last couple of corners. And despite being slowed down a little bit through turn 2, it's still a pretty good first sector for Vettel. It's still quicker than our first sector, I think, at 26.8. As Raikkonen pulls out of the way. Last 2 corners now. Maldonado crosses the line and goes up to P14, just behind Valtteri. And Vettel goes to P7. We are 8th and 9th. I think we are probably safe. So, not going to run again. Save the tyres. Let me check the setup, actually. Did I get it right? Yes, I did. I don't think we messed with buttons, did we? No, we didn't. We left them in 97. So, Ricciardo needs a lap. Hulkenberg needs a lap. I would imagine it's going to be the Caterhams and the Marussias as 4 of the bottom 6. And then it could be anybody. From Gutierrez down, I think, who joins them in the drop zone. So Charles Beek has not improved in the opening sector. Teammate Van der Gaard looking to improve himself. Hamilton's found a little bit of time in the middle. Massa has improved closed the gap to Rosberg, but Rosberg's still top. Van der Gaard has not improved in the opening sector either. And it's going to get very busy on track. A lot of cars now starting to push. Looks like Valtteri started a lap. Charles Pic improves in the final sector, but does not improve its time or position. Stays in P19. 2.7 seconds off. I would imagine Bianchi's going to improve at 3.8 seconds off. Van der Gaard spent a little bit of time. He might be able to jump his teammate, but I think that's probably all he's going to be able to manage. He doesn't even do that. He's lost half a second in the final sector. So Hulkenberg starting his outlap. Ricciardo on his outlap. Here's Jean-Eric Verne looking to improve. As Alonso does a 26.4 purple first sector. And across the line for Verne. He does improve to P14, finds a few tenths, but he's still not safe. Valtteri Bottas does not improve. Maldonado looking now to try and put a lap together to knock out his teammate. Here is Chilton. Does not improve. Bianchi's on an outlap somewhere. There's Bianchi. He's not going to get through, but he might be able to jump his teammate at least. Webber goes P8 with his time and purple in the final sector. No improvement for Daniel Ricciardo. There is Nico Hulkenberg in the background starting his lap as well. Ricciardo and Hulkenberg are the two that are most likely to try and get through. In fact, Ricciardo is... Oh, there's Ricciardo. Saw a car pulling over. I thought it was him for a second. He's getting a tow in the closing stages there. Can he do enough to just improve his fortunes a little bit? It's a very good first sector for Hulkenberg compared to Ricciardo, up 3 tenths. Bianchi's on a personal best as well. Ricciardo is out. Misses out by 9 thousandths of a second over Maldonado, who is starting his lap but doesn't need to do it. Can Hulkenberg improve? He's up about half a second at the moment on Ricciardo. He's going to need a little bit more than that, especially with Maldonado trying to improve himself. There's Bianchi. Bianchi improves his time, but not his position. Hulkenberg shoots up to 11th. So, Maldonado now looking to knock out teammate Valtteri. As Rosberg's pumped in another mighty lap and gone 3 tenths clear again. And across the line, Maldonado does improve, and he has knocked out Valtteri Bottas. So eliminated from Q1, Valtteri Bottas, Daniel Ricciardo, Charles Pic, Guido van der Gaard, Max Chilton, and Jules Bianchi. All right, so let's fix those little issues. So we need to change Vettel's driver number. There we go. And we need to find the Williams drivers. Here we go. Maldonado. Change this. There we go. And now that should fix those issues. Right. We'll do our first run on the same tyres we used in Q1. We will do a second run in this session, because it's not guaranteed we will actually get both cars out of this session.
Okay, that's
So they can see Maldonado now showing as Mal, and when Vettel comes out, we should see a number 1 on his car. Got our first car on track, and it's Adrian Sutil. In the Force India. I think we'll probably go out when he comes through. There goes Massa. A little bit bit of space between us and Massa. And a little bit of space between... damn, I was going to send out Button, but then Rosberg decided to pop out. So we'll leave a little bit of space. Now we'll send Jensen.
Radio check. Loud and clear.
And we've got Alonso not too far behind Button, leaving the pit lane as well.
Warm the tyres where you can.
Okay, so first time on the board is a 118.690. Not too bad as we see Jean-Eric Verne leaving the pits. Both of the Lotus drivers are out now as well. And Hamilton is about to exit the pits as we are starting to come through. Might get in the way of Michael a little bit.
Go.
Evening, Johnny. Down half a second on the Ferrari. That's a combination of us maybe using the scrub tyres, although I imagine the Ferrari will be using the scrubs as well. More likely it's down to just car pace. See what Jensen does in the opening sector. 26.8, couple of tenths quicker. These are not peak Schumacher era stats either. So don't expect him to be outclassing the rest of the field. So Massa is slower than Sutil, which I'm surprised at. You can see where he lost time. It looks like he lost a good chunk of time in the final sector somewhere. Schumacher is the second off Rosberg's time. Here comes Jensen. They can see the JB design on the side of his helmet.
Okay, that's a good lap.
And Button is 0.6 up on Michael there. It's a big margin. Grosjean goes top. Verne is P8, 1.5 seconds off. Here comes Kimi Räikkönen. He goes to P4. So Lotus looking particularly quick here this weekend so far. What about Lewis? Is that Vettel? I think, oh no, that's Webber. Webber crossing the line to start his lap. Hamilton only P10. Wow, 2.5 seconds off. He lost a massive amount of time in the opening sector. 28.9 2 seconds slower than Di Resta's first sector, and 2.5 seconds almost slower than some of the times we have seen already.
Pit limiter.
Copy. Stop in front of our garage.
What was the chassis name? Was it Kirby Kiley in this 2013 car? Or was it Luscious Liz? No, it's Kinky Kylie, wasn't it? Not Curvy Kylie. Webber's looking quick. Webber's looking very quick. Not bad for a number 2 driver. Says me in a very, very bad Australian accent there. So Vettel goes P3, 10th off Grosjean's time. Here comes Webber, who's going to absolutely obliterate it by the look of it. It does by half a second. Ooh. Oh, it's Hungry Heidi was the name of his 2013 car. Right, Hulkenberg coming up to cross the line. Let's prep our cars with new tyres. As we see one of the Force Indians diving into the pits. And Hulkenberg up to P9. So Schumacher currently P12, Button P8. I'm going to go early while there's a little bit of clear track. This might backfire horribly. Well, we shall see.
And we want to generate some temperature for this outlap.
So pressure on for Schumacher here. Needs to find a really good lap time here. He's what, 1.7 seconds off? Yeah, 1.7 seconds off at the moment. Button 1.1 seconds off. An improvement for him is needed as well, but not as much as Michael, who is very much off the pace so far. We need a clean run. Just got to hope we're okay traffic-wise. If we do get blocked, I should just about have time to abort the lap and come back in again.
And drive straight out, drive straight out. Track will be clear.
To try one last time.
Let's go.
But that's not ideal because we'll have already taken a little bit of life out of the tyres. As one of the Red Bulls is leaving the pit lane, it's got to be Webber, I think. No, Vettel. It's Vettel leaving the pit lane. And the Ferraris as well. Ah, this isn't good. We're going to get blocked into turns 1 and 2. Slight lift. Let's see what the first sector time looks like. We might be able to get away with it. 26.5 for Jensen. That's much more like it. 26.7 for Schumacher. That's a big improvement as well. We'll keep him out there. Maybe lost a tenth or two. Wouldn't have thought we'd have lost any more than that. Right, button up to the line. Goes second. That's a big improvement. That's a very big improvement. 0.8 of a second there.
Nice lap.
About Michael.
Okay, look after the fuel on the way in.
Has a better final sector than Jensen. He's half a second away, a couple of tenths down. Hopefully that's going to be enough to get through. Here comes Gutierrez into the final sector. And look how crowded that first sector is now with all those cars on track. Some pushing, some not. That lead Ferrari is going to have a potentially horrible first sector. Gutierrez is 14th. It was Alonso. Let's see what Alonso's first sector's like. Massa's coming up to that traffic now. 27.4. That's a bad first sector for Fernando. But Massa's the one that needs the time. He's still got a whole bunch of cars to get through. 26.4. Was Massa able to get through without losing time? It's a very good middle sector for Alonso.
Speed limiter.
Stop in front of our garage.
Massa's even quicker. Ferrari's coming alive in the middle sector here. Vettel goes to P2. Alonso, purple in the final sector, does not improve because of the time he lost in the opening sector. He should have done. Massa goes P2. Alonso would have gone top had he not lost a second in the opening sector. Rosberg looking to improve. Maldonado is done in P15. Hamilton needs a time. He is bottom with 3 seconds off at the moment. And he's got cars in front. He is chasing down one of the Force Indias. That's Paul di Resta. So he's now going to be locked to di Resta's pace, potentially. We might see Hamilton get eliminated here. As Rosberg goes top by 0.08 of a second. This is where being so close is going to hurt Hamilton. He's now stuck behind, literally stuck behind di Resta. Got Webber getting a tow behind Kimi Räikkönen just in front. Will this be enough for Lewis? Final sector is going to be killer. The killer here. It's either going to be enough or he's going to get knocked out because of this final sector. Oh, he's out. He is out. He lost too much time in the final sector and he is out in P11. And everyone else is already done as well. So Hamilton out along with the Force Indias of Sutil and di Resta. Then it's Jean-Eric Verne in the Toro Rosso. Esteban Gutierrez in the Sauber and Pastor Maldonado in the Williams. They are the cars knocked out in Q2. Next up, Q3. All right, into Q3. We're going to go early this time.
Sessions should be starting now.
Hulkenberg slots out right behind us, and it looks like Rosberg's going to pop out right behind us as well. Great. We're giving toes to some of the cars we're fighting with.
Warm the tyres where you can.
Right, Jensen will be the first one to start pushing. Yeah, I know, but we're limited to the circuits that are in-game.
You're good to open the lap.
I mean, if we're going back to 2013, this whole section here would not exist. Because it was a blast and then into a chicane and then around there. Right, 26.8 in the opening sector, and we have a yellow flag. That is Kimi Räikkönen.
Now look, here we head into turn 2.
As he goes past Webber.
Very heavy on the brakes. What caused that, I wonder?
Right, he kept it at the barriers. Schumacher, fastest in the first sector. Button does a 19.1. Hulkenberg gets a toe to go 19.1. Schumacher does a 19.1, and Rosberg getting that slipstream now, plus in a better car as well. Potentially a high-rated driver as well. I'm not actually sure what Rosberg's overall is. It might be 88, in which case he will be better, because Schumacher's an 87. So it's a 118.5 for Jensen.
P1.
Much quicker than Hulkenberg. Schumacher goes top briefly. Waiting on Vettel to come round. Now with the number 1 on his car as opposed to number 5. And how much has he blown us out of the water? Half a second quicker than Schumacher, 0.8 quicker than Jensen. Scrub tyres for our first run. Hopefully we can get an improvement with brand new tyres on the second run. And Raikkonen's going to be a mile off if he... No, Raikkonen's just aborted his lap. We've got one of the Ferraris coming around to start. That's got to be Alonso. It is. Webber's just gone purple in the first sector.
Lane speed limiter on.
26.2 for
And stop on your
Fernando.
marks.
Webber's gone purple in the middle sector. So Webber's on for a good lap here. And he goes top by 0.3 of a second. Massa now starting his lap. And Fernando has pulled out a blisteringly quick lap, 1:17.0. That might be hard to beat. All right, let's keep an eye on his teammate, Felipe. These are scrub tyres for Massa. Across the line, he goes P4. He's 0.7 away. Here's Grosjean. And he pops up to P3. Very, very tight between him, Vettel, and Massa at the moment. I would expect Vettel to find more time. And of course, we don't know what Kimi's going to do because he had to abort his first run. Definitely going to see more pace out of Rosberg, I think, on his run as well. Next run. So I think we're probably looking at 8th and 9th to qualify. I don't think we had that much more pace in our car. There'll be some, but probably not enough. All right, out goes Sebastian. Rosberg needs to find a big improvement because he is a long way below where he would expect to be. There is Hulkenberg, also leaving in the background. Grosjean coming back in as Webber leaving the pit lane as well. Out comes Kimi. And Massa. There's Jensen. And Michael. So Grosjean and Alonso, the only two still in the garage. Still time for them to come back out. finally Massa leaves the pit lane, and Grosjean right behind him.
Drive straight out, drive straight out. Track will be clear.
26-2, purple first sector for Rosberg. Right, let's jump on with Jensen, shall we? Rosberg's flying right now. Personal best for Jensen. And what about Michael? Michael a tenth quicker. Rosberg goes top with 1:17.035. Very, very tight between him and Fernando at the moment. Fernando has the chance to respond. Michael is looking better than Jensen in Q3 here. As Alonso starts his lap, he's just 23 thousandths behind at the moment. Chance to retake pole position. Here comes JB. Improves to P8. What about Michael? Improves to P7. So, 7th so far. Grosjean has not improved in the opening sector. Alonso hasn't improved in the first sector. Evening, Mike. I don't think Alonso can do it, you know. I think he is going to get pipped. Grosjean's not having a great lap either. This might be all she wrote then for qualifying, unless Alonso can pull something special out here in the final sector. Oh, he pulled a purple sector out, but it wasn't enough. He lost too much time elsewhere on the lap. So he stays P2. Grosjean crosses the line. He stays P8. And that's everybody done. Everybody has crossed the line now. So it is Rosberg on pole from Fernando Alonso. Webber in third. Raikkonen in fourth. Sebastian Vettel in P5 alongside Felipe Massa. Schumacher in seventh. Grosjean eighth. Button in ninth. And Hulkenberg in P10. And these starting positions are where we need to finish for our sponsors. 7th for Schumacher and 9th for Jensen.
Well, the fans here are all set, every one of them eagerly awaiting the 58 laps of today's race.
Albert Park often seems to set teammate against teammate. From Hill and Villeneuve dueling for the 1996 win, to Bottas beating fellow Mercedes driver and pole sitter Hamilton to the win in 2019.
The Albert Park circuit is bursting with rapid corners and a long straight where drivers can push their speed to the limits. Good attention to medium speed downforce will likely make beating this beast of a track just a little bit easier. The teams are making their final preparations down in the pit lane ahead of today's race.
Evening, Tony. All right, strategy. Let's take a look at our options. It's kind of close that way. That keeps the hards in reserve if we get a safety car. I don't think we've got quite enough life available in our tyres to be able to do 2 softs, and we've used the second set as well. So soft, medium, medium is looking like what we're going to do then. There we go. Let's take 2 laps of fuel out. And we'll see if we can maybe get a good launch as well. All right, we are ready. Let's send them to the grid for the start of the Australian Grand Prix.
Well then, it's not long until we get started here, and we should be in for a tightly contested race. As we get closer to the race, will the McLaren be fancying their chances in this one?
9th is a fairly good grid position. If they make the right calls, they could well score some points.
This should certainly be a good one, folks.
I love how both of our drivers,
Get ready
or at least
for the Australian
Schumacher's helmet there, had his
Grand
visor up and down at the same time.
And it's lights out.
All right,
and
let's
away
see
we go.
how we can do off the line. Can Schumacher get alongside and past Massa into turn 1? Get alongside. Get through as well. Everyone is on mediums apart from us, so we've got a chance to maybe sneak a place or 2 here. As Raikkonen gets creative with a defensive line. Oh, Massa gets shoved wide. Raikkonen's able to keep us behind.
Let's
And
see
Button
what
gets
happened.
through.
Look at the McLaren driver here.
There's Hamilton
There's the
behind us.
opening.
A big shock being eliminated early from qualifying. And Massa gets on in front. Back on in front of
As a
Hamilton.
result,
So we've got a
8th place is
little
theirs.
cushion to him. So P6 and P8. Both drivers up 1 place. Let's calm everything down a little bit. As Grosjean has a look. The Lotus is definitely a better car than us at the
Key
moment.
thing is to keep the tyre in good shape. Keep the tyre in good shape. Recharge on.
And it's Rosberg who leads at the end of the first lap from Alonso. Webber ahead of Vettel. So Vettel's gained a place. It's Raikkonen, Schumacher, Grosjean and Button. Massa and Hamilton, the last 2 in the points. You see Massa having a little look at the back of Jensen there, as well as Grosjean having a look at Michael. Track temperature's quite high, 42.4 degrees. I might have to cool the tyres down. But it looks as though Michael's lost the DRS. Let's push hard with the battery just to see if we can close back up again. I think we just about made it. Yes, we did. And the tyres are getting a little hot, so we'll just ease them down slightly. Very much an average car for McLaren at the moment. Jensen coming under pressure from Massa once again. Schumacher's lost the DRS once again because we turned the tyres down. Just don't have enough out-and-out pace at the moment without pushing to stay with him. But I'm realistic about my expectations with this race. I think, if we can finish 7th and 9th for the sponsors, that would be a good result because the car, 9th on the grid at the moment. So it should be achievable with Jensen, but it'll be tough with Michael. See that gap opening up, not just behind Raikkonen, but in front of him as well. We don't know how aggressive the AI is going to be with their tyres. So, they may be pushing them as if they were a set of softs. So there's no guarantee we'll get a big undercut, if any undercut at all. If they are pushing their mediums in this opening stint, then they may well be boxing about the same time as us. See Hamilton now having a look at the back of Massa. Right, track temperature starting to fall away. Turn Michael's tyres back up and Jensen's as well. Is anyone going to have a lunge here? A little half look from Massa. Might be more just to stop Hamilton from making a move rather than trying to go forward. Right, we've got a little chance here to maybe get back onto Raikkonen and drop Grosjean in the process. I think we missed Kimi, but we might have dropped Roman. Yes, we did. Excellent. So that'll give Button an opportunity.
Use overtake.
Not quite close enough there. little look from Jensen. Only a half look.
Yes, DRS.
Has another little look. And again, doesn't commit. I think we're about as close as we can get now before we run out of battery. Schumacher desperately trying to find a way through now. He's stuck behind him through 9 and 10. Button having a look in the background as well. That move's covered off there. Jensen up the inside. And he does get through.
Okay, recharge on.
Here's the replay. Look at the McLaren driver here. It's certainly inviting. And the McLaren there with a beautiful manoeuvre.
It has DRS.
Evening, Arctic. Button should close back into the DRS of Michael here, with Michael being in harvest mode. I hope. He might have just missed it. Yes, that's exactly what you're witnessing. Button keeps Grosjean at bay. Still trying to find a way past Massa. Still stuck behind him.
Overtake available.
An interesting law between or behind choosing McLaren with Schumi. Yeah, I've never really, I've always wanted to be able to have Michael Schumacher as a controllable character in this game, and he'd retired from F1 after leaving Mercedes in 2012 to be replaced with Hamilton. And given that Perez was only at McLaren for 1 year, I figured, it's not too bad if we just swap him out. So that's exactly what I did. I put Michael in, put Perez on the free market. And the aim of this series is to try and get Schumacher an 8th world title before he retires. He's on a 3-year deal, and he will be retiring at the end of that. So we've got 3 seasons to try and win the Drivers' Championship with Michael. But we won't be giving him preferential treatment. He won't be a de facto number 1. It'll be equal treatment in terms of parts and team orders and stuff. There will be occasions where we do maybe favour one driver over the other, as there inevitably always are in certain circumstances. And if Michael is close enough at the end of a season to challenge and is ahead of Button in the standings, then we will favour Michael over Jensen in those situations, but only in those situations.
Recharge on, recharge on.
I did very nearly start with the 2012 mod, but I haven't had a chance to actually run that and test that yet. So I figured, I've done some pretty extensive testing on this one. Oh, Hamilton finally gets past Massa and has made that mood stick as well. So up to P9 now for Lewis after a very bad qualifying. Shock exit in Q2, qualifying 11th. Grosjean's now starting to put some pressure on Jensen. Our tyres are starting to degrade a little bit. No idea what condition the mediums are in for everybody else. Let's take a look at tyres. Probably start pushing Schumacher's tyres a little bit soon. Just try and open up a little bit of a gap to Jensen. As Grosjean has another little look, but loses momentum through the corner as a result. And now Hamilton might have a chance to jump him.
Currently P7.
Gap 0.7.
How's the time?
Once again, they're going to start coming under some pretty heavy pressure from Grosjean. He's definitely looking racy at the moment, trying to find that way through. And this may open the door slightly for a move from Lewis. And it does. Lewis gets around the outside, and he is up into P8. And immediately straight past Jensen, who
We
gets
are ready for
squeezed a
you.
little bit on the inside of turn 2 there. Hamilton is through.
No hop done.
Use the tyre.
Vettel and Webber switch places. Now right up there with Alonso as Button and Grosjean are fighting. And Button does just about manage to shut the door on that move, but it's only a temporary reprieve, I think. Goes very defensive. Can he keep the pace on the inside line? Yes, he can. Kind of put him into heavy defense now. So it'll also open up the gap to Michael a little bit as well, give me the option to box them both on the same lap. Speaking of Michael, he is under pressure from Hamilton. And let me have a quick look. Would that be quicker? No. Not by much, though. No, we don't have voices. We don't have 3D modelled heads either, so there won't be podiums. Alright, so chance to get a little bit more battery behind Hamilton here because we're in the DRS. Button still ahead of Grosjean, who's under pressure from Massa now. That's not Max. That's Jean-Eric Verne. Max is only 15 years old in this. And I'll read them off from the top. So you got Nico Rosberg first, second Sebastian Vettel, third Fernando Alonso, fourth Mark Webber, Kimi Raikkonen fifth, Lewis Hamilton sixth, Michael Schumacher seventh, Jenson Button eighth, Romain Grosjean in ninth, 10th is Felipe Massa, then Nico Hulkenberg, Paul Di Resta, Adrian Sutil, Esteban Gutierrez, Jean-Eric Verne, Pastor Maldonado, Daniel Ricciardo, Valtteri Bottas, Charles Pic, Max Chilton, Guido van der Garde, and Jules Bianchi.
Box. In maximum pace now.
Right, I am trusting that the gap is going to be big enough to box these guys on the same lap. It's going to be tight. We're going to need our mechanics to do a good job.
He has DRS.
Ah, he's going to get me. He's going to get me. Damn it. Grosjean gets through. Raikkonen's into the pits. Same lap as us. And so is Hamilton. And so is Grosjean and Massa. Everyone's stopping on the same lap. So much for our undercut. 2.7 second stop. Oh, that's a bad stop. No, no. 5.5 seconds. Ugh. So we've lost to Grosjean and Massa as well.
Could be racing cars pit exit.
Ah, that's frustrating. So Raikkonen's gone on to hard tyres. Grosjean's gone mediums. Massa's gone hards. Hamilton's mediums. Need to get these tyres warmed up. We need to start thinking about fuel saving as well. Not had a yellow flag of any kind yet. Not even someone going off, I don't think.
You'll be 15.
.5. .9.
Alright, so Hamilton is closing us down again. So we did manage to jump Hamilton. And we're back on terms with Raikkonen again. But Jensen is now very much adrift from Massa and Grosjean after that bad pit stop. Through goes Kimi Raikkonen. Can we get the move done as well? Yes, we can. And Hamilton will have to wait his turn. Let's keep pushing the battery. Everyone was on mediums apart from us. We were the only drivers on softs. So they were probably just being aggressive with their mediums. Plus they were stuck, you know, Hamilton and Massa were definitely stuck in dirty air a long time. And there you go. Leaders are in. Not a particularly quick stop there. And I think, did Vettel jump Alonso? Or was he in ahead of Alonso? I'm not sure.
Okay, keep
Hülkenberg
looking
and
after
DeResta into
tyre.
the pits. And come both of the Toro Rossos. Bad stop for Maldonado. Schumacher still cannot get past Kimi Raikkonen, and we're onto the back of Adrian Sutil now as well. All right, in comes Jules Bianchi. And Weber boxes. Set of medium tyres. Rosberg's about to go through. There goes Rosberg. Here comes Vettel. There's Vettel. There's Alonso. He's going to get him as well. Only just. That's tight. Right, Button has caught Massa.
Use overtake.
Gutierrez is into the pits for Sauber. Set of hard tyres for him. Let's start to fuel save. While Schumacher's tucked up where he is. Still going to keep pushing on Massa. We've got him out of the DRS of Grosjean now. Oh, we lost a lot of momentum there. But we've still got the DRS, so we'll easily steamroll right back up to him again. Hamilton's picked off Schumacher. Damn it. I forgot Hamilton was right there. And into the pits for Adrian Sutil. Caterham, Marussia, and Toro Rosso is, formerly Minardi, then became Toro Rosso when Red Bull bought the team, because Toro Rosso is Italian for Red Bull. And then they became AlphaTauri, and now they're V-Carb. Still can't find a way past.
Your P10.
We're pretty much out of spare battery now. Oh! Are we alongside? No, he chopped the door on us. If we managed to get ourselves alongside, we would have actually had that move done.
There are opportunities ahead. Lift off end of straight.
New fastest lap for Webber. Oh, we give Massa a little squeeze. Put him in the gravel. Button back to P9. These are our targets, P7 and P9. But I don't think we're going to stay ahead of Massa for very long. Oh, I just realised Button's still in always defend, isn't he? We'll turn that off. New fastest lap for Kimi Raikkonen. Looking to pull his finger out and stretch his legs a little bit over Lewis Hamilton.
Time management.
21.1. So it's about 1.8 kilos for a lap of fuel around Melbourne. We are slightly under 1 lap now for Michael. Let's see if I can get him back onto Lewis. Jensen, I don't really have enough battery to try and break away and go after Grosjean at the moment. And we're constantly having to defend against Massa. Plus we need to get his fuel down a little bit more as well. Is Hulkenberg closing in on us? Yeah, he is. Mind you, everyone is. Again, we're fuel saving, so that'll do it. 1:23.3. It's a better lap this time around. So, lap 24, Rosberg leads Vettel by 2 seconds. Alonso 2 seconds further back with Webber inside DRS range. Then a big gap back to Kimi Raikkonen. 16 seconds. He is then ahead of Hamilton and Schumacher. 6 seconds gap to Grosjean. Then it is Button back 3.5 seconds with Massa right there still. Hulkenberg trying to put us under some pressure. Then it's De Resta from Sutil. Gutierrez, Verne, Ricciardo, Bottas, Maldonado, Pique, Bianchi, Chilton and Van der Garde. And Van der Garde has already been lapped. So has Chilton. So has Bianchi. Pique is about to get lapped. And we're out of battery for Michael. And we made no real impact on Hamilton at all because Hamilton started pushing to go after Kimi. He's caught him.
Suggest reduce a bit, lift and coast.
And we are closing up on Romain Grosjean just a little bit, even while we were fuel saving there. So now that we stopped that, there's a chance we might get on him a little bit quicker. As Gutierrez moves ahead of Verne briefly. Side by side through the final turn. Verne on the inside. Gutierrez has the DRS and gets on through. There is Ricciardo in the background. And the first of the two Williams drivers, Valtteri, just appearing. Let's go back to the front and take a look at Mark Webber. As Alonso getting held up by Charles Pique there. He'll get the DRS though. Massa finally got through. Or did he? Yes, he did. But he gave us the DRS. We'll harvest a bit.
Recharge on.
We've got back markers in the way. No point trying to overtake. We'll just get blocked. Like that. Just said don't bother overtaking, so immediately Button tries to overtake. Alonso just gets alongside Chilton. And now we're going to get held up by Chilton through a couple of corners. Man, he really held us up. Well, technically it's 4 DRS zones, but they're both double DRS zones. So you've got a detection point at the end of the lap here, just before the penultimate corner, which gives you DRS on this straight and this straight. And then you've got another detection point here at the end of the first sector, which gives you DRS here and here. So 4 zones, but they're both double zones. So technically 2. with corners to break them up.
And recharge on.
Right, we've got the seconds. Marussia now. Oh, Bianchi up ahead. Gets in Alonso's way, but definitely gave him DRS. I think we missed it. Yeah, we missed it. We were just a little bit too far back. We have been well and truly dropped by the Ferrari now. I don't think we're going to get back onto him. How are the tyres looking? Slightly ahead of the wear prediction. Only slightly. Not enough to really push the tyres for any consistent length of time. Out at just 290 kilometers now. That's not great. Vettel gets ahead of Rosberg. So we have a new race leader. Webber still can't find his way past Alonso. Vettel is pushing, but he's got Rosberg. Well, Rosberg's got the DRS. He'll be able to stay with him here. Oh yeah, the 2013 McLaren was not a great car. Say we are probably the 5th best car at the moment in game. It's pretty close between the front three, Red Bull, Ferrari and Mercedes. Then you've got the Lotus just ahead of us. Oh yeah, this is not going to be a straightforward walk to an 8th title. I don't think we're going to be in the running at all this year. Maybe next year, if we're lucky. More likely, it'll be when the big regulation change hits at the end of year 2. And then we'll have an opportunity in Schumacher's final season. Well, all Formula One teams were starting to struggle financially around this time because costs had just been, ridiculously high. But yeah, this was the downturn in performance for McLaren. They would lose their engine partnership with Mercedes very soon, and then go to Renault. Or did they go to Honda first? I can't remember if they went to Renault for a couple of seasons, then to Honda, and then back to Renault. I think they just went straight to Honda. So Honda was, yeah, not good. They had a very, very bad chassis that they were adamant that it was a good chassis until they got the Renault engine back in and realised actually no, it's still a really it's still really bad. We've already kind of shit all over the true timeline by putting Michael Schumacher in the car instead of Sergio Perez. Plus, if I was going to stick to the true timeline, I would have to drop a telehandler on Gio Bianchi next season, and that I do not want to do. As the leaders move through past Pastor Maldonado. Schumacher not able to make any gains on Raikkonen. Button not able to make any real gains on Massa.
How's the tyre doing?
Tempted to put hards on for the final stint. In fact, I'm going to do that. I'm going to start hammering the tyre, call them in a little early, and switch to hards.
Okay, maximum pace now, maximum pace.
Alonso alongside Schumi would look like Nico with Lewis. No, not really. I mean, this was kind of peak Alonso in terms of his ability. But this was very much the the end of Schumacher's career. Schumacher and Button are fairly evenly matched, whereas Alonso would just demolish both of them. Right, that level of push did give us a little bit of time against Kimi. And we gained a 10th over Massa. But we've lost a couple of tenths in the first sector there. We lost a 10th in that sector. Let's see what the middle sectors are like. These tyres are on their last legs now. I don't know what the AI tyres are like. Still need to do more fuel saving. I can't believe we've not had a yellow flag of any real description yet. Have we had any yellow flags at all? No, not a single yellow flag.
tyre management all good so far?
Are we going to get some DRS off the back of peak here? Don't think we're close enough. No, we won't. And he will get out of our way nicely, though.
We have a blue flag.
Try and change things up a little bit. See if we can get a little bit of an undercut.
We're boxing this lap.
I think we'd have been all right with Jensen had we not had that bad pit stop. Because we came out behind Grosjean and Massa when we probably might have got ahead of Grosjean. We certainly would have been ahead of Massa. We had to push to try and get past him. Hamilton's in. So, yeah, there goes any chance of an undercut by the look of it. Oh, sounds like a bad stop. It is a bad stop. 2.7 second stop for Michael. 2.4 second stop for Jensen. That's much better. That's a pretty decent stop time. So let's get these tyres fired up very quickly.
That's P13.
So target for Michael today for the sponsors is P7. Target for Jensen is P9. We managed to get out ahead of Hulkenberg, which is good. Oh, Raikkonen's in already. There goes my undercut on Kimi. Wasn't the best stop. Grosjean's coming in, and there goes my undercut on Grosjean.
Use the floor.
So Schumacher is back out in P8. Now we just got to undercut Massa. And we are 6 seconds behind Grosjean. Whew.
The tyre temperatures should be in a good place.
Key thing is to keep the tyre in good shape. Keep the tyre in good shape.
Can't overdo it too much too soon with the tyres. New fastest lap for Hamilton, 119.992.
Everybody recharge on.
So we're going to undercut Massa comfortably with Schumacher. He was ahead of Massa anyway. And he's
He
only,
got fastest lap.
what, 7 seconds behind him? 7.5 seconds behind him on track. Button, it's going to be trickier. And Massa is probably going to go to a set of mediums or even softs, depending on how long he stays out there.
Gap 0.7.
We think there's still opportunities here. Remember recharge.
Button's got the fastest lap, a 119.6. There's no bonus point for fastest lap, so it's kind of an irrelevance. What is not irrelevant, though, is getting past quickly and cleanly. There we go.
Recharge on is good.
Okay, keep looking after the tyre.
This might be an even quicker lap because of the DRS. It's not, not at all. It's 3 seconds slower. Oh, 2.5 seconds slower.
He has DRS.
All right, Sebastian Vettel in from the lead. And he gets held as Fernando Alonso comes in. It's not a good stop for Alonso. So Vettel, not only is he boxed and got out relatively cleanly, he's got an undercut on Rosberg as well. So he would almost certainly hold his lead and probably extend it a little bit now as well. Let's see, he is only 13.5 seconds behind. So yeah, that's going to be a pretty comfortable undercut for Vettel. Button is closing in on Grosjean, who is stuck behind Nico Hülkenberg at the moment. Sutil boxes. There's Grosjean making the move on Nico Hülkenberg, or trying to. And Hülkenberg does not let him go. Hülkenberg still needs to pit again. This is going to allow Button to close up nicely. Still need to save some more fuel. There's Webber boxes from P2. There goes his teammate. Is he going to get out in front of Alonso? I don't think he will. No, there goes Alonso. Going to get out behind the two Williams drivers, or behind one of them at least. He's in between them, so ahead of Valtteri. No, sorry, ahead of Maldonado, behind Valtteri. And Valtteri immediately pulls over, and Maldonado sneaks his way past his teammate. Very opportunistic overtake there from Pastor Maldonado. Grosjean is still stuck behind Hülkenberg. He's going to have another go now. Button has closed the gap dramatically. 2 seconds out of them on that last lap. And this time Grosjean gets through. Massa's still out there. And still lapping pretty well as well. 120.8 last time round.
Hülkenberg's ahead.
And Hülkenberg has lost the DRS.
Still plenty of opportunities.
He covers us off.
Make sure we get the pack back.
Van der Gaard hits the pits. And Jensen's going to have a look at the inside, and that's a very smooth and easy overtake
We
for
can have recharge
Jensen.
on now.
Lost a little bit of time, but nowhere near as much as Grosjean lost. So a net positive there. Massa slowing down again a little bit. How long till he boxes? As Rosberg boxes now. He will come out close to Webber. I think actually knows. He might even get out ahead of Alonso here. It's going to be tight. There's Alonso. This is going to be very tight. He's just going to do it, but is he going to stay ahead into turn 3? He is. So, game on. Rosberg now 7 seconds behind Vettel, but with slightly pressure tyres. And Alonso behind him. Puts him in a good position. There is Raikkonen, and
Okay, Hulkenberg
somewhere a little bit further back, that was actually a Marussia you just saw popping through. That was Jules Bianchi. But somewhere not too far behind is Michael Schumacher. We're just taking it a little easy on the tyres at the moment. Start to increase that tyre push a little bit now.
Okay, maximum pace.
15 laps remaining as Vettel crosses the line. 6.2 seconds is the gap to Rosberg. As Jean-Eric Verne decides to hit the pits. Is this for a set of soft tyres or a set of mediums? Mediums. And there he goes. In comes Pastor Maldonado for Williams. How ironic is it that he is number 13? Oh, is he going to get in Schumacher's way here? Is he going to take Schumacher out? God, I hope not. Immediately pulls over and lets us through. That's good. Right, Button, 2.5 seconds behind Grosjean still. And a lock-up for Verne. Freshly
Right,
out
let's
of the
have a look
pits.
now. Around turn 3.
Pulls over to let Hamilton through.
There goes the steering. And they'll need to be mindful of the effect that that had on the tyres.
So, Kimi is now right on the back of Felipe Massa. We need these two to fight and slow each other down to give Schumacher a chance to close up. Massa is still out. How long is he going to stay out for? At least one more lap. Valtteri's in the pits. There is Schumacher. There is Button in the background. Oh, Maldonado squeezing his way through again. Need to start saving fuel again, just to make sure we're definitely going to make it.
More lift and coast.
And Massa has been overtaken, and he's into the pits, finally. So, this is a critical time for Jensen.
Overtake available.
Suggest reduce a bit lift and coast.
I think he's going to stay ahead. God damn it.
Keep chipping away.
He is just... Oh, my God. Sneaky git. And he's gone onto a set of hard tyres, so he's going to be able to absolutely thrash those. We need to get the move done here.
Cool the car.
We couldn't.
Yes, use the chance now.
Ooh, did we get the DRS there? It's going to be really tight. We did. Excellent.
How's the tyre?
Always defend, because that's our target position now, P9.
Key thing is to keep the tyre in good shape. Keep the tyre in good shape. Suggest increased LICO.
Recharge on.
And Massa has not got DRS this lap, which is good. He'll have it in a minute. And we took a nibble out of Grosjean as well. As we get past Bianchi. Michael having a little nibble into Raikkonen's lead as well. And we are now safe on fuel for both cars. As Massa is now back in DRS range. And here he comes.
Push now.
Not letting you through, Felipe. Not even if you ask nicely. So, target position achieved for both drivers. Now we need to hold it with Jensen. I think Michael is probably safe. Got a nice 11-second lead over Grosjean. So this is the fight we need to be wary of, because Massa has got better tyres. And just to give you an idea of the pace difference, we are closer to being lapped than we are to overtaking Sebastian Vettel right now. There is Jensen. There is Vettel. That's the kind of pace deficit that we have. Hamilton's a long way off, but he started in P11, so yeah, bad qualifying ruined his race. He spent most of the first stint stuck in traffic. Who will be champion this year? You can't argue against any of the top 5 right now. Could be any of them. I mean, I would say more likely it's going to be 4 of the top 5. You put Webber maybe at the bottom of the pile. But realistically, yeah, any of the top 5 could do it.
DRS.
Right, let's send Schumacher on a hunt. You wish Alonso wins. I think it's more likely to be Vettel or one of the 2 McLaren, sorry, 2 Mercedes, as we have a yellow flag. And it was Grosjean. No, Raikkonen, sorry, having a big spin somewhere.
Let's take
No, it was Grosjean. I'm looking at the wrong car.
Now we're through the last turn.
I thought I was looking up Schumacher.
Oh no, that's not how to do it. And that won't do anything to help those tyres.
Finale in Brazil, yes. No, 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 no!
Play for.
Shit! Ah, Jensen.
Deep breath. You're going to be okay.
Fuck, fuck, fuck. Can we get past Kimi here? We've got a little bit of battery left. The tyres are starting to really struggle now. What team am I thinking about doing for my 2026 season? That's a good question. I haven't really given it that much thought, to be honest. I don't know. I'll have to see what the actual performance of each team is like. I'm thinking maybe Audi. And Schumacher gets ahead just, but we're out of battery. And we gave up the DRS as well. But we do get ahead. Can we stay ahead? No. No, we can't. Ah, damn it. Jensen's tyres have cooled down a little bit. Lost some life out of them, so I can't be as aggressive as I want to be. And we are losing ground on Grosjean and Massa. I think we're going to miss out. Maybe the Snake Killer. You started with Williams. Yeah, Williams is an option. Their car is definitely overweight in real life. I'm assuming that will be translated across a little bit. Audi is an obvious choice simply because their turbo is so big that they have terrible starts. I mean, they're losing, I think, an average of like 5 positions a race. Another yellow flag. I'm not sure who that was for.
And we've had a crash on track.
Hey, there we go. Crash to
Now we should
Maldonado.
be able to take a look here. Here we are then at the 11th corner. Clearly unable to take evasive action. I imagine their confidence will have taken a knock.
So he will box. Will they change that front wing? I imagine they will. I imagine they'll send him out soft as well for the last few laps. There he goes. Look at the traffic. This is getting lapped by multiple cars. Jensen's now 7 seconds behind. That mistake killed any chance of actually getting our target achieved with Jensen. I mean, there's still the chance of a collision or crash somewhere ahead, but I think that one's done now. Let's just try and cool these tyres down a touch for Michael. They go Haas. I don't think I've done. I did a Haas playthrough briefly on F1 Manager 23, I think it was. Or was it? No, it might have been 22. And I've not really ever looked at Haas since. So, might go Haas. We are now 3 seconds behind Kimi. Just throw everything we've got left into the tyres. You never know. We might get lucky. Maybe Massa and Grosjean will have a little moment. Even if we don't get the sponsor money from Button, he is on for a point. And all it would take is for Massa to run that outside line as Grosjean is trying to cover him off, and then Massa to just lock up. And then there are 2 potential place gains waiting for us. Vettel looks like he's going to kick off the season with a win. Rosberg second, Alonso third. Decent recovery from Hamilton considering he started way out of position and was stuck behind Massa, Grosjean and Button for the first 15 laps or so before he managed to start breaking through. These two fighting have lost a bit of time this lap. But it's closed by about a second. And we can start pushing buttons so he doesn't get lapped, because that's Vettel. There's Vettel. There's Button. It's not far. We might even see Vettel. No, not quite. But we're not far away from actually seeing Vettel on screen.
Tyre temperature management looking very good. Fuel is okay.
The gap's not really going down. If anything, it's going slightly back up again. Schumacher's just not closing back in on Raikkonen. I think we have to settle. So let's not take any unnecessary risks. Let's bring the car home in 7th. And let's make sure we bring the car home in 10th as well. If these two want to do something stupid and take each other out, by all means, fellas, knock yourself out. Literally. Knock yourself out of the race. Vettel's on his final lap. And we are going to see him, I think, before the end of this lap. But just saw his wheels. It's definitely very draggy at the moment. Needs to shed some aero loss. There it is, Vettel. Another lap or two, and he would have got us. Right, maybe another 2 laps. Schumacher starting his final lap. Button about to start his final lap. He stayed on the lead lap, so if something does happen between Grosjean and Massa, we're there to capitalise, sort of. As Vettel crosses the line to win. Massa's got ahead of Grosjean. Grosjean is the more unpredictable of the two, so maybe he'll have the lockup.
And it's a win for the Red Bull.
We were just half a straight away from being lapped in the end.
Well, it was never certain, but if anything, that must make the victory taste even sweeter.
Looks like Massa is going to hold off Grosjean. Out of the final turn, Michael Schumacher returning to the grid with McLaren takes 7th place. Daniel Ricciardo a lap down, crossing the line just behind. Here comes Jensen. As Massa crosses the line in 8th, Grosjean in 9th. Jensen will get the final points. We couldn't quite get the sponsor objective done as we come up to the back of Valtteri Bottas. But we do still get a point.
And on our screens at the moment, the McLaren driver.
Just managing a finish in the points, having crossed the line in 10th.
Now, Karun, with that result in mind, what would they be feeling like down at McLaren?
They didn't do too badly today. A pretty respectable outcome as far as they'll be concerned. But they need to keep pushing. They can't afford to sit back.
And that's about that for this weekend here in Melbourne.
The teams now look ahead to the next round, where they'll duel it out in the sand dunes of Saudi Arabia.
Confirmation then of the final result of the opening round of the season. Sebastian Vettel takes the win ahead of Nico Rosberg with Alonso in third. Then it's Mark Webber in fourth, Hamilton in fifth, Raikkonen sixth, Schumacher in seventh, eighth for Felipe Massa, ninth for Romain Grosjean, 10th for Jenson Button. And then it was 11th for Paul de Resta. Getting ahead of Nico Hulkenberg. Then Sutil in 13th, 14th for Gutierrez, 15th for Ricciardo, 16th for Van, 17th for Valtteri, ahead of teammate Maldonado, who had that big crash towards the end. He ended up 2 laps down. And then the backmarker teams of Caterham and Marussia, Peak ahead of Bianchi, Van der Garde ahead of Chilton, all of them 3 laps down. In the driver standings then, it's as we saw for the top 10 order. And in the constructors standings, Red Bull top with 37 points ahead of Mercedes with 28. Ferrari have 19, Lotus with 10, we have 7 points. So 5 teams off the mark, no points for anybody else. And Marussia at the bottom, just ahead of Caterham. And then Williams, Toro Rosso, Sauber and Force India. Let's take a look at the pit stops. So, a pretty decent stop for Jensen there. You can see we were just 0.003 of a second away from having the quickest stop. No sign, unfortunately, of Schumacher. It was Red Bull who got the quickest stop ahead of Toro Rosso, who also nabbed themselves 9th place as well. Ferrari got 4th and 6th, Williams in 5th, Force India getting 2 cars in the top 10 as well in 7th and 10th, Lotus getting that final position of 8th. So, 2.593 was the slowest top 10 time. Not even close to Schumacher's car, both of them in the 2.7 window. So let's take a look at the standings. Red Bull top with 25 points ahead of Toro Rosso with 20. Ferrari also on 20 points. Then it's McLaren in 4th with 15. 10 points for Williams, 7 for Force India and 4 for Lotus. Sauber, Marussia, Caterham, and yes, a glitch. It always says Arden, even though it's not. Mercedes are bottom in 11th. Now you can see we achieved our target for Schumacher, so we'll get an extra $687,500. Did not achieve the target with Jensen, but neither driver won, so no contracted payouts for finishing in first, which is nice. It saves a bit of money. Alright, so back to HQ we are. Race Sim is upgraded to level 3. Let's drop another upgrade on that. It's, about 23 mil left now. There we go. Something purple in the inbox. Mick Schumacher has accepted our contract. I don't think we're going to be able to put a father-son combo in the car, though, unfortunately. I just don't think we can get Mick ready in time before Michael completely retires. So let's sign Mick. We can put them in the same session in an FP1. We can drop button for Schumacher Jr. Post-race data. Let's have a look. So, not too much of a loss on the powertrain components. That's quite good. Car came through unscathed. Expected finish was 8th, and we got 7th. Expected finish was 10th, and we got 10th. So all good there. Board are not going to be happy, though, because the board want us to win the Constructors' Championship this year, which is just, yeah, it's not going to happen. So, yeah, disappointed. We are going to struggle with board confidence this season, I think. So, might be worth sticking an upgrade on the boardroom as well. We've got an upgrade due in a couple of days. There we go. It's the helipad. Let's get the final upgrade done on that. All looking okay so far. We are 13 days away on that. Let's dive into the inbox. We are almost ready to go straight to the next race, which is Jeddah, which is a substitute for Sepang in Malaysia. And while we are in Malaysia, as we can now stick level 4 upgrade on the tour center. There we go. While we are there, we will get our first 2 upgrades dropping as well. So we'll be able to stick those into production when we come back and then get something new started, because we do have a new ATR from a couple of weeks ago, as you can see. So, yeah, there we go. What's the schedule? So we went through it at the beginning, but we'll go through it again now as a reminder for anyone who forgot or anyone who joined late. Melbourne is the opening Grand Prix of the season, then Jeddah as a replacement for Sepang, the Malaysian Grand Prix. China, Sakir and Bahrain, Barcelona, Monte Carlo, Montreal, Silverstone. Those are all real circuits at the real time that they took place, at least in the calendar order. Spielberg is a substitution for Hockenheim. Then we had the Hungaroring, Spa, Monza, Singapore. Baku is a substitution for the Korean Grand Prix. Then Suzuka, Mexico is a substitution for the Indian Grand Prix. And then Yas Marina and Austin and Brazil also as they were in reality. So 4 substituted circuits and I think a 19 race calendar. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's quicker to do it this way, actually. Let's go to the standings. Go to Grand Prix. Yeah, 19 races. No sprints. We do have GP2 and GP3 as opposed to F2 and F3. We don't have any results for those. I was looking in the wrong place. Yeah, we have got Melbourne here. Jolyon Palmer coming in second. Do these guys have sprints? No, they do. But we're not going to pay too much attention to those. So, yeah, Jolyon Palmer, the future Renault driver, getting a podium there. Anyone else we recognise? Marcus Ericsson, Felipe Nasr. Nobody else's name jumps off the page at me as drivers who definitely got onto the grid. Sam Bird is one of our affiliates. Didn't have a great race. Let's have a look at GP3. There's Daniil Kvyat and Carlos Sainz. Looks like it's a season too soon, maybe, for Verstappen and Leclerc. Maybe they'll be in F3 or GP3 next season. So, into the calendar. The drivers are unhappy with their contract bonuses. Well, tough. Tom Stallard unhappy with other staff. Okay, everyone else is pretty happy. Mick is not happy with the car performance. It's the best car he's ever driven. It's the only car he's ever driven at 13 years old. We do need to sort his training out now that he's part of the junior ranks. So let's take a look at his stats. Smoothness is not great. Braking and cornering also not great. We could just leave him on balance, but let's see if we can maybe give him a little bit of a boost in certain areas. Let's put him on race strategy for the first few months, and then we'll readjust once he starts getting upgrades to his stats. So, cold and a high chance of rain is the weather forecast, which I think matched what the weather was like in Malaysia that year. So, yeah, it'll be a wet one in Jeddah. Let's see what the forecast is. Heavy rain forecast on the Sunday. That will make things very interesting. So, that is it then for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed our first run with the 2013 DLC. We have made that slight change by swapping Perez for Schumacher. But apart from that, it's as they were. So we'll see how that goes as the season progresses. See if Perez ends up anywhere for next season. There will be quite a few drivers out of contract, I think, at the end of this season. So it'll be interesting to see who gets picked up and by who. But yeah, not a bad opening start to the season. We got some points. We are about where I thought we would be, which is a lot less than what the board was expecting. And we've got upgrades that will be ready after the next Grand Prix. So when we come back tomorrow at the normal time, 8 p.m, we'll be doing round 2 in Saudi Sepang. And then Wednesday, we'll be returning to our Cadillac series. So Wednesday, Thursday will be Cadillac. And then Friday, we will have a look, an in-depth look at the new 2026 DLC, which drops on Friday. Free for everybody on overtake.gg. If you haven't seen the YouTube trailer, then it is on YouTube. Let me see if I can just pull up a link and post it in the chat for you all. Not there. Let's just give me a watch thing. Where is Discord? There we go. Copy that link and paste it in. There you go. So that is a link to the F1 Manager 26 trailer. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely check it out. It looks fantastic. Dropping for free, as I say, on the 17th. So we will be having a look, assuming it is out in time. I'm not sure what time it's going to drop. But we will definitely be taking a look at that. And whether we'll be doing an actual start of a series on that day or not, I don't know. We might just do a one-off and then get a proper season started at some point after that. But yeah, there we go. That's the plan for the rest of the week. So I hope you've enjoyed tonight. If you have, a thumbs up, always much appreciated. If you're not yet subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Click on the bell for notifications as well. Share this video amongst your friends, drop comments, all that good stuff. If you've got questions, ask away in the comments of the videos, and I will do my best to answer those for you. And I will be back with more F1 Manager very soon.